Knock, this is Patak. I'm going to do a tutorial for the Lucky Dime Caper for the Master System. Please note, this is a different game to the Lucky Dime Caper for Game Gear. They're radically different, and if you struggled with this game as a kid, you may want to play the Game Gear version first. It is generally easier and far shorter. This one is not so bad, it just has very evenly spaced choke points and some jank that's on a level above the two Mickey Mouse Illusion games, but frankly this one is almost easier to get to a par time in, because there are certain tricks that are very free and easy, and everything else is just adding in bits and things as you please. So as far as the physics, your collision happens with the Donald's back foot, and you do not preserve momentum through jumps, so if you jump forward here and try and go back on yourself, it won't work. You've got to be careful with that. Speaking of jumping, it is faster to jump throughout the levels, but you do have to be careful because the game likes to eat your inputs, and the lag cadence for jumping is a little bit different to what you would usually expect on a Master System or Game Boy game. So you can slightly buffer it, but you've got to know what you're doing. And I'm just going to show you an example here in stage 7. If you look at the frame counter while I'm moving horizontally along, not jumping at all, let's look at what frame the second screen loads in. 673. Now I'm going to repeat that, but I'm going to do a jump. And by the way, you want to get some movement going first on a screen before you jump. You'll save a few frames. You see there is 65, so just that one jump has saved 8 frames. They really do add up, and the advantage of this is you can basically jump anywhere you want and anywhere you feel safe. But any time you're struggling with the timing, you can just take it easy and avoid the jumps. So I'm going to just go through the stages in the order that they appear. You can do any of the first 3 stages in any order you like, and the same with the second set. And we're going to go through a simple method and then a complicated method. So jump over this mushroom, jump over this mushroom, and then this spider is awkward because he will lower to whatever level you are. If you've jumped here, he will go up. Press 1 to fire your hammer. You've got to be careful with the timing of this. It is surprisingly easy to fire your hammer early and then be vulnerable afterwards. So you can just let him come down and jump over him. And coming up we've got a Beehive, which is incredibly awkward. If you try and do this at full speed, it's very easy to hammer both the bee that comes out and the Beehive and still get hit. I'm just going to show you that in real time to give you an idea how awkward it is, doing a few jumps just to save some time. Crosshair, crosshair. And you see there, I damaged both the bee and the Beehive, but I still got hit. That is something you have to be especially careful of with some enemies. Now with the hammer, basically if you lose that, you've got no weapon. You will only be doing half damage to bosses. So what you want to make sure to do is avoid the frisbee pickup that comes. Jump over that bee. Jump up here. Also notice when you're on the edge of a ledge, your momentum is drastically slowed. So if I move back here, it's taking time to get back the way. There's another Beehive up here. Avoid the bee. Star power-ups make your weapon slightly faster, you get 5 of them, you become invincible. You also get extra lives. If you see a frisbee, avoid it like the plague, because whenever you die, you will restart the level with whatever weapon you had, and the frisbee is basically useless. Now you come to here, come over. There's a trampoline here. The simple way is to get onto the trampoline, and as soon as you start bouncing down, press 2 to jump to get to the top. Whoop, up there. There is a more complicated method where you can skip that and save a second or 2 by going to here, and then jumping on that bee and getting over. The task does that. I'm planning to do that in runs once I get to a certain level, but it's very risky, so you move like that, then bounce up here, like that. I don't recommend that unless you're at a very high level. You can jump on both of these leaves, you can just jump on the one. Kill that bee, kill that mushroom. Get past this guy straight away before he fires his sticks, whatever they are. And then you're going to try and jump early here so that you don't land in that pit, because you'll miss a cycle with this vine. There's a hammer, that's very good RNG. The RNG clumps in this game seem to be based on seeds, so you will at times just get extra lives constantly. You will get frisbees constantly as well. Now to get off this vine you need to press 2, and then if you jump on the same frame you land you will preserve momentum, which can be very useful. You do have to be careful though, because there are times, you see here when I'm holding up it won't let me go over the vine, and you can easily land in the pit. You've got to be careful with that. So across here, if you want to jump where this spider is, see where the bushes are ending on the screen on the left there, you want to jump about there. I recommend trying to jump on that bee and then getting over there. And again, just do as many jumps as you're comfortable with. Nothing to panic about if you don't want to do them. Over here. Onto the leaves. That's one bit you've got to be slightly careful of, because you can't double back on yourself. Don't use music cues, by the way. Your buffering might be different to mine, your emulator cues, my headphones, whatever like that. Never ever use music cues, always use visual cues, because they're easier to tell whether you're being fast or slow as well. Up here. So if you want to wait here, you can just spawn this guy and then let him attack. If you get stuck here, you need to jump, so that the air will take the leaf up. You might want to jump off and then jump back on. Just be careful. That leaf can go all the way up, so you've got to be slightly careful not to mistime it. You can get there from there. So down here, and again, what you're going to try and do is jump from about here, so that you walk on this platform part here and walk straight across. Onto the vine. Come off nice and safe. Preserve your momentum. If you've lost your hammer, this is a good area to try and get it. You just go back and forth here, and you will get 2 enemies at a time. Every other enemy gives you a drop. You can just try and get extra lives even if you want. There is a seed where you just get them constantly and you can harvest them, because when you get to the end of your lives you will have to continue from the start of a level, and in later levels that's a real pain. So the boss in this section is Baloo the Bear, and the first thing he's going to do is jump at you, so you always want to just stay down and hit him there. Run to the other end of the screen. Again, be careful not to fire your hammer too early. When he goes to the middle, he's going to throw honeycombs. He's going to jump at you. You can take this very carefully. You can just, if you hit him from here walking down, just hold 2 after you've done it. Be careful, he's going to jump there. I find that the bosses tend to take about 2 hammer hits worth before they become vulnerable again. It's a little useful thing if you're struggling with the timing. Now, if you notice here, I'm balancing on the end of a ledge and then Donald isn't moving to the centre of the screen. That's a little glitch we can do where if you're quick enough to kill the boss, you can do it on the right hand side of the screen. And he will not move back to the centre, so you save a bit of time on the end cutscene. I'll just wait here and try and show you that. So typically he would go back to the centre. You don't do it there, it saves a bit of time. You've got to know what you're doing with these bosses. I particularly recommend practicing them in your own way and having backup strats for when you lose your hammer. That'll mean you need to do twice as many hits as otherwise. The quickest way is to get him in 4 hits, 3 have to be hammers. From about this position, do a slightly soft jump, and then use your hammer. Immediately double back, hit again, hit again. If you get hit there, don't worry, just stay over here. And jump on him when he gets there again. that's a particular problem if you jump too early. That's why I'm recommending a soft or late jump here. And again, the doubling back on yourself cadence does take some getting used to. Here I'm a bit slow, so I'm going to try and hammer him. I couldn't do it. It's not too difficult, it just takes some getting used to. You see, even though I know I'm doing, I can't do it easily consistently. So that was a jump hit, that was a jump hit. That's going to take half as much damage. There we go. I'll just go through the level again once more and show you the fastest way of doing it. You should also look at the TASs and the top speedruns of this to get an idea of what you're doing. And again, anytime Donald is not interacting with the ground, you will save frames. So you can bounce on enemies, you can do what you want. Just don't succumb to fancy play syndrome. Don't be too much. Don't do stuff that's too risky, you know. You see a bit of preservation of momentum there onto the boss. You see there I actually outran him too fast, so I had to slow down, but I didn't quite manage to do it enough. And again, it's just knowing the pattern, making sure you know when he's going to fire a honeycomb at you. Keep hitting him, just be patient. There's no time limit on the bosses as far as I know. And just kill him and go up here and you'll get a cutscene. You can split whenever you want. That's the first level. So level 2 is the first really awkward level, but it can also look really flashy. It is particularly problematic for beginning runners, and there are safe ways to do it. So you've got these fish coming at you. You can jump up onto this branch here, jump over, and then be aware this snake is going to do some dancing. He's very happy. Time your hammer carefully, and then I recommend going on the turtle, but be aware that he's going to drop down through the water once he finishes his movement. And then when you get to the next area with the snake, there's going to be a bird coming at you. You're going to need to duck under its boulder, like this. However, be very aware that Donald's hitbox extends for almost the entire length of his body here, and there's going to be times when that causes some problems. So duck under there. Go on the next turtle. You're safe across this bit. Kill another snake. Onto the next bit, there's going to be another bird you're going to need to go under. When you get to here, just make a run for it. Like that. Show you that again in real time. You can also try and do this sort of thing where you just go really fast everywhere, but it's predicated on the idea that if you go at the right speed and use the platforms enough, you can kill the bird without slowing down. By just jumping on top of him like that. The other way, which Rasmus has done if you look up his runs, is to double back on yourself mid-air and kill the bird. But it's very risky. And this is a game where loss of life bleeds very heavily, especially when you're losing weapons and things like that. So you can play it very safe indeed here. There's the momentum issue we mentioned earlier, where if you're not moving quickly enough, you will basically just lose all of your potential and go dropping down for a swim. So it sometimes pays to jump off those ledges if you're not sure where your positioning is, and it certainly just takes some getting used to the jumping momentum and movement. So jump up here, jump up here. Move all the way over to the right without thinking about it. If you want to double back on yourself and kill that bird, you can. You can avoid that fish like that and just come down. He will not come back if you do that. Again, be careful off the edges of these ledges, it's very easy to move too far and get whacked. There's a trick here you can do, where from this ledge, if you jump and then duck mid-air and hold the duck, Do you see Donald did a little ducking animation for a moment there? What that's going to allow you to do is clip into this wall here and bypass this swimming section. And this swimming section is a nightmare because the collision is really awkward and it's difficult to get it right. So I highly recommend you get used to doing that. All you have to do is just duck off that last platform. This is just the sort of thing where you're going to practice it your own way, you're going to get your own way of doing it. Again, if he's fired late there, just take it easy. Duck there. Swim up here. Take a breather. Now the next section is just pretty much the same as the first section, so we won't go too much into that. Again, you can do a method where you try and outrun things. When you come out of there, if you're doing that, I highly recommend that you try and buffer a jump, because the game is fond of eating your inputs, and otherwise you'll end up having one not eaten at all. So you come across here, you come across here. And the boss here is Simba, and it takes, what, 4 or 5 hits with the hammer, which you can do like this. And again, we can use the ledge glitch. If you're not confident with that though, and I wouldn't blame you because balancing on the edges of these ledges is particularly dangerous, jump here. Don't try and fire from the hammer, you'll get hit. The one thing to note with this boss is, depending on what position you're facing in, he will move slightly differently sometimes. So if I just show you phase 3, here's 1, here's 2. If I face left when I hit him, and he goes that way, but if you face the other way, he will go the opposite direction, and you have to be very aware of that. Or in fact, it might be just if you hit him from the wrong side, forgive me. Try that again. Like, so if you're on the second half of him, he said, not able to manage it. Like that. And he'll move differently, you've got to be very careful with that. It's not too bad as long as you know that he always jumps over the water. And sometimes he'll double back on himself and you can just kill him in a few hits. If you want to do the flash method, then just be very careful not to double back on yourself too early like that. You'll lose your hammer. And then for this final hit, it's very difficult timing, but I recommend going just like as early as possible on the wobbling animation, not too far over. Like, not over here. As early as you possibly can get it, and then just fire at the very last minute. Max, the world record holder, is very, very good at that. I recommend watching his videos on it. You get a couple of tries at that. If you don't get it, you will get one half hit, lose your hammer and jump over here. No biggie. And that's level 2. So level 3 is the Andes, and you've got these shaman who can jump, who can charge you, and who can throw their clubs. The first one you can just walk under. And then you get a vase here who you've got to make sure to get past, so you can stand still and do that if you wish. You jump up here. Turkey, you can kill him or you can just wait. Jump past the next shaman and the next one, avoid his club. Kill another vase, rinse and repeat with the turkey. Here you can jump on this guy's club or you can just wait for him and lure him out. Next guy charges you. And then you've got an auto-scrolling section. Treat these with full respect. Jump over that guy, kill the turkey, again be careful with your hammer timing. Jump on top of this turkey. Jump to that one. After the left to right facing rock, you're going to go steeper. You've got to be careful with this one, especially with the fact that it takes a few frames to jump again after you land. Again, with the left to right facing rock, you want to be preparing to dismount, but then you want to hold the right button, and when you see the screen tilt down, press jump. You'll get a big old jump there, and you'll be able to save a few frames because you're not just in a forced walking animation. And then we come inside to this section, which is a pin. You will either get 2 shaman, or a shaman and a vase, or 2 vases. And you've got to make sure you know how to handle those in terms of not getting hit, because if you lose your hammer here, it can be very awkward. Vases will always come towards you. 2 shaman, 1 will tend to hang back. Then, you want to hit those faces there. What you don't want to do is be too close to this bottom face when you hit it with a hammer, because you will take damage. You can jump on them safely though. Show you that again. So there it doesn't work if I'm trying to jump over. I have to jump again. That's okay. Then come back to make sure you're on the centre of the screen. There's a very good reason for that, which we'll get into in a moment. Just show you the hit there as well. So you want to be before the centre line of the screen, which is to do with the auto-scrolling in the next part, where there are going to be some moving blocks. If this guy comes out as a shaman, double back and hit him. But be very careful not to fire your hammer too early, because as we mentioned before, you can end up being vulnerable with your hitbox. Duck under this guy. Now if you want to take it safe on these moving blocks, just make sure to go nice and carefully. Bear in mind that the triggers for some of these are on the first half of the platform, and if you go slightly too fast, you can walk into them, like there for example. And if you don't go fast enough, for example there, that's an area surprisingly you can duck under that one, you wouldn't expect that. Time it for that guy, jump on the vase. You will often get a hammer there if you're on the right cycle, and then you get these arrows. If you need to pause the game for a moment and work out whether you're safe to proceed, then do. Just bear in mind that you can jump into these and you can still take damage. Over and another set of faces, again, another wall. Same as before. Now if you want to do this really fast, there is a way that Rasmus has got in his ESA video where he stays on the right hand side of the screen. I don't recommend doing that, but you can do it from the centre. I'll show you that now. There's a jumping cadence where you are basically going to outrun these blocks. Now here is another reason why you want to make sure you're before the centre line and you don't want to do too many jumps. Because sometimes if your subpixel is wrong, you will collide into the block that's coming down in front of you here. But basically you walk off this platform here and then you jump across the next 2. So you miss that guy and miss that guy. You keep these blocks behind you, what it's going to do is despawn 3 of the faces at the end. But you see these blocks are actually outrunning me very slightly here, so if you're not quick enough, you will miss. Another thing notice here that you can actually do a wall clip like in Super Mario Brothers. That's something to be aware of, especially outside when you're jumping on the stairs, because if you mistime it, you will whack into a shaman. So I'll show you this properly this time. Jump. Jump, jump, walk, over here, over here. That's an example of how you can miss that jump. It's easy to do that a lot if you're not careful. So just, if you're at all in doubt, don't risk it. This is another reason the jumps help, because they keep the blocks further behind you. I mean, if you're going straight through here, jump on the second arrows, jump on the third arrows, you see how close I was. Boom, despawn those. And then you can stay on the right, or you can move back to the centre line. You've got a shaman here who you need to jump over, another shaman who you need to duck under or jump and kill, and then just walk out the door. And when you're here, be careful with this turkey bird, you can jump into him very easily, so just let him go past. Jump on the club, duck under this guy, and there's another auto-scroller the same as before. Sometimes you can double back very slightly mid-air with that last upper to lower jump, just to make sure you're not walking off into the spikes. Again, it's the sort of thing you'll have to practice and decide what works best for you. A couple of small jumps, jump over here. into the same auto-scroller as before, basically. Don't be fancy. Use this sort of thing in your practices for your timings, because I don't know about anyone else, but I personally have always found it incredibly hard to always jump over these rocks consistently. Anyone who's watched my other speedruns will know that I am terrible at auto-scrollers. Just be careful. Do the jump glitch again, and you're onto the boss. So this boss is 2 statues. You're going to go to the right-hand one first. You're going to stay behind that halfway marker, and you're going to wait for the face that goes in to flash 4 times, and then jump up and hit the statue twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. Move over immediately. Wait 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jump. Jump and kill. And then you can just like double hammer there, make sure he doesn't run away, because he'll do a screensaver motion all around the screen. You can also do it from the left. You can take it fairly easily, but even if you lose your hammer, that just takes 1 hit. And that's already halfway through the game. So the next level is where it gets more difficult. This is Hawaii, and there are going to be some voodoo dolls, there are going to be some statues, there's going to be fire, there's going to be a couple of little neat tricks as well, including some clipping. So, let's just start off nice and easy. Jump over this guy. Be very careful with these flamethrowers. The hitbox is slightly different to when it appears. Take it nice and safe, and then you get your first statue. They always fire pairs of these fireballs, but the rate of fire 1 to 2 is different each time. So sometimes they're right together, and sometimes there's a big delay. Get past him. Come over here. 2 more voodoo dolls coming up. And then you've got a volcano, and after the next voodoo doll, he's going to start shooting flames that fall down exactly where you're going to be. So you see, it's basically perfectly predicting where I am. And if I just walk under it, I'm going to get hit. So you can face the other way and then move forward. Like this, nice and safely. But then be very, very careful to face left with this statue, because if you face right, the fireballs will come exactly where they are, and the hitbox on the ceiling of those is slightly bigger than you would expect, so it's very possible to get hit there like that. Jump up the stairs, kill this voodoo doll, and then you just need to press up to go in this door. If you want to do that slightly faster, just do some jumps. Be very careful jumping here, for example, because if you delay it and jump while you're touching the edge here, you will run into that flame. You notice the buffering of the jumps as well. A couple of shorts, long and a short. And then just make sure you get past that statue nice and safe. Into here. So, there is a lava spewing face here. He will only spawn once you jump. So if you want to take this extra safe, don't jump here. But once you fall down there, come immediately left. Remember that edges are sticky, so from about here you can jump and then turn around. And then you've got a couple of competing fireballs here, so again, come down here and jump over them carefully. Pick your moments. At the moment, the 2 on the lower level aren't firing, but as soon as you get down there, they will. So, you've got to know what you're doing with this. You've got to be quite careful. Don't worry if you take a death. If you want to be slightly faster, 3 jumps forward, turn around, fire the hammer. Wait a little while, turn midair. Here, you can jump midair, turn around and try and jump over that statue, but it is tremendously finicky, so you may just want to wait these out. And again, you can move around like that, but you risk running into that fireball. Again, be careful with the lava on the floor, it's slightly wider of a hitbox than you would think. Through to the next room. And then you're going to jump over this bat, over this voodoo doll, and over this guy. And this is a particularly good place to get a hammer if you're missing one. kill that guy there. Statue, you want to wait about here, wait for his second fireball to fire, and fire hammer slightly late so that it's on the downswing, on the upswing of your jump, otherwise you'll go too early. Kill that guy. You can jump there, or you can just wait for the voodoo guy to come at you and then make sure to fire at him, because it's easy to mistime that. Over this guy, and then you've got some fireballs. Jump over the second set, and jump there. Or, if you want to be completely safe, you can do it even better by just hiding in the nook and cranny here, and then jump over. Be careful with this jump. You can clip into the floor here halfway, and then you'll miss out on things. Grab the key, come back, jump over the next two flames, walk under this bat. Don't try any fancy business with him, you can mess up badly. Go through the locked door. Now here is a slightly more complicated version of what we just had before. I recommend just going nice and carefully along the floor, jumping up, jumping up. Don't jump too high because you'll spawn this guy early, and the same with these guys and you'll mess up your timing. Just make your way along nice and carefully. If you're in any doubt when they're going to fire, just wait. Up here, and through to the next room, which is an ice block room with the fire. This is going to be difficult because you've got certain timings, and this is a very small area for jumps. You see, I've just managed a glitch jump there. It's very easy to miss these. I don't recommend ever trying to restart in this room. Always just try and get through. You can jump over that one. It's awkward. If you jump over, there is a glitch where if you do it just right, you'll clip up onto the next platform. See if I can try and do that for you. Like that. If you do that, just carry on, because in theory that saves a couple of seconds if you then get a hammer afterwards, so if there's any risk at all of you dying in this room, or any room before the boss, do that, take a death, and you basically save time. You can save some time on your turnarounds here if you clean as well. Here, remember that your collision is when you've got your back foot off, so it's especially easy to try and pussyfoot through this and do like half jumps and little jumps. It's very easy for that to go wrong, especially when you have to double back on yourself. I basically recommend just going for it in this room, so up here, down off here, half foot off there, round to there, over, wait on this one, let it come back, through. That room just takes practice. This room, however, is a long auto-scroller. The pattern of these flames is always the same for the first half, and then it changes for the second half, so you'll need to learn that. But there is a way to skip that, where you're basically going to clip into this wall here. Jump. A little bit of left, a little bit of left. If you miss it, go back and try again. You get 2 tries at this. You see there that I'm jumping into the wall, and then if you duck down, you are now completely invincible for the rest of this stage, and you always want to do this on the left-hand side, because that's where you're going to exit. And you've now got a bit of breathing time, and I'm just going to speed this up so you'll see that the pattern is one thing, and then it changes to another thing. And then at this point you are going to get off, go through this door. Now you can go through this room the normal way, but you can also just perch yourself on the edge, duck, hold 2, and you will clip all the way into the ceiling. Jump up, and then just walk along the top. It's free. All you have to do is make sure that you're not too far left like that, because you'll take a hit. You've got to be right on the edge. Take a moment to pause and line it up if you need to. And then come up here, avoid all the difficult parts of this room. The world record doesn't even go through this room normally. it's just that difficult. And then on to the boss. Now the bosses in the second half are crows, and they've got set attack patterns. So this guy is going to fire 3 bombs and then move to roughly where you are in one of 3 or 4 positions. And if you want to take it completely safe, you can just go to the opposite side of the screen each time, hit him early, move, rinse and repeat. No problem. Like that. There is also a faster way to kill him. I've taken this one from the TAS, where hit him straight away, wait about 2 hammers, hit him again, take him over to the left and go into the left nook here, and then when he fires the second bomb he'll be firing it leftwards off the screen, and that's going to be the cue for you to hit him again and do the same thing twice. Like that. And the advantage of that is because that's his final hit, if you take a hit as well, it does not matter, because you'll get your hammer back for the next part of the level. So I'll show you that again. No. It's easy to jump too early, hit too early. Like that. And if you miss that last hit, you'll need to do one more jump hit on him here, but that's not so bad. Just know where he can land, know what he can do. You'll notice I'm letting go of the direction button every now and again just to make sure I don't come in too fast. And that's Hawaii. Okay, Egypt and Antarctica are where it gets really, really awkward, because there is some jank to the enemies and there are lots of little things that can hit you and give you grief. These scorpions have got set paths they will not go outside of, and it looks like they're speeding up and slowing down. You've got to be very, very careful not to hit into them. So you'll see he cannot come any further. Then you've got these sand traps, which you can initially walk on, but will start to sink you down into the scorpions. There is an area where you can get trapped underneath here, and there's a block above, and you basically just have to spam jump for your life and try and get out. Be very careful. So, if you want to be safe, find a point to jump on there. There are bats that will come down to this level as well. If you are mid-air, they will stop mid-air. But it is tremendously easy to get hit by one of those because you've been jumping and you've slightly changed your X position. Basically practice a lot and work out where you need to do what and how to defend things. I mean, I wouldn't recommend doubling back too much, but if it helps you to avoid hits on bats, then do it. Because you don't want to be skulking around for a hammer in this level. You see, even if I double back there, I don't have momentum to stop myself. That guy isn't so bad. There's another scorpion here. Again, just trolling me. This scorpion here, him you've got to be careful of because he goes really far both directions. And if you hesitate on this area, he can come back and hit you. This is again where hammer timing makes a big difference. If you fire the hammer early, bats are going to get you. If I just show you, if you deviate here, these suddenly coming at you at quite a rate of knots. Not fun. Another bat here, and then we get to this section with the pyramid starts. This one you can just jump and hit. Take it easy with these guys. Be very careful not to get whacked on here, like that. It is so easy for that to happen. You should basically accept that at times in runs you are going to take damage, and just plan accordingly. Even the world record run has damage in it. It's basically unavoidable. That's the one advantage of the jank in this game, you don't feel as responsible for the mistakes sometimes. So take it as slowly as you need, and then go into the pyramid. If you want to be completely safe, do a buffer jump there, and then kill that guy. So before you're in the pyramid, hold 2, fire at the end of your jump and you'll kill that scorpion. Nice and safe. Set of arrows coming out here. Very fast scorpion, just time it right. Make a run for it. Learn where these scorpions' positions start and end. Don't rely on hammering them. It's very difficult to get that right. But you can do that and just kill them both in one jump. If you've got an arrow coming overhead, do not jump on this section. Do little jumps. Do not do the big jumps because you can risk colliding into those blocks. Again, scorpion here, set path. Don't whack into him. So buffer jump there, jump up. There. Kill this guy on the left, you'll typically get extra lives. This bit, you've got a bat coming at you, so you want to stand still when he drops. There's a scorpion who should usually be there as well, a bat. Don't go through this door, and stop before this block, jump over, and there's 3 more coming. You can do a trick where you exploit the stickiness of the floor by switching directions about here. All 3 will come down at once, but you don't have to. And then go in this door straight away, because this chest will come after you. And we get a sand trap room with bats. This is really awkward. If you have the wrong timing for your position, you will end up constantly struggling against one of these walls here, like this, and against the divide of these 2 sand traps, and you can't get past, and you might have to double back. All of these pits fire on a set cycle. There's 1 there, 2 here. This platform will sometimes despawn. You've got a scorpion here. Once you get to this door, you're safe. He can't touch you. What you want to do is jump over like that. Use a little bit of that platform for momentum. This is where your buffer jumps really come in useful. Knowing when short jump, when to long. This is the area I was talking about where you can get trapped under that platform and then you're in deep trouble. Don't be afraid to take a death if you struggle. Just make sure that you're not going to put yourself at risk of needing to continue, especially in this level and in Antarctica, because the RNG is difficult. See how easy it is just to lose your hammer by doing nothing. Treat it as just a bit of fun. You know, it's out of your control. I didn't even anticipate that one, that was crazy. And you can wait these cycles out, but I mean, there you go, that's how easy it is to get in trouble there, just spamming the jump button and getting out. And then into here. You're going to get 1 of 2 patterns for these blocks, so move over here. Don't ever jump up into these. And also, don't do this. You will take a hit, and you can be surprisingly far off, and you can still take a hit. So, let the first one come down, come on top of it. You're going to get 8 on the floor, and then you're either going to get a 2 wide well here where you can stay, or a 3 wide well here. So this time with 2 center well, this is the slightly faster pattern. If you get that, you can chill here until there's 2 high blocks here. Again, be careful not to clip into this wall. You can actually get stuck in here. Like that. Then you're in trouble. Like that. The other pattern is going to be where you get 2 center blocks filled 3 high, and then you're going to want to stay here until this guy comes too high and jump over. And in all cases, you are going for the left side of the exit. So I'll just show you how this looks when it's completely filled in. It's filled in the same both ways, but the one pattern saves a second over the other. Not a big thing. And if you want to be silly, you can do a bit of dancing, because Donald likes to dance. You can jump on here and be safe, up here, and then jump. And then we've got a room with another scorpion. Be careful jumping to try and land hits on him. You might just want to be very, very careful, Ginger, about that. And then we've got a series of mummy caskets. Jump over the first one. Wait until the bat. Walk under the bat, then over the mummy. Like that. And then again, a very, very tricky scorpion. You see how quickly it's moving? It's easy to get hit there. You can buffer a fair amount of jumps here as well. Up these stairs. When you jump onto this door, jump as high as you can, like that. And check that bat hasn't come down, because you can get hit by that bat during the transition to the next door. This room is basically hold right to win. However, anytime a scorpion bounces you in the air, I recommend firing your hammer. Because due to the way exposition works, you can be pushed forward into those scorpions. I do not recommend jumping about like a madman in this room unless you know what you're doing. It is incredibly risky to get hit like that. Hold right. Anytime a scorpion jumps you, just press your hammer. If you take a hit, don't panic about it, it's not the end of the world. You can always just die in the next room and start again. Buffer a jump there to avoid the bat. Jump up the top here. If you jump down, just know where these mummies are coming. And then the boss. So the boss is another crow who's going to fire a musical note, and a snake who is invincible. His tongue and his fire can hurt you. And this boss is notable because you can get hit, start jumping on top of the crow and then still die. And if you die when you kill him, you will still have to restart it. So basically just move right, take a step left, and then just try and get 4 real quick hits on him. It's easy to lose time here. You see, I've had 3 hits and I'm suddenly in trouble. And this is the sort of thing where, if it doesn't work out that you get a final quick hit like this, you might want to just start again. You see, it's easy to hit and get killed at the same time because hitboxes, how do they work? So if you get multiple hits like that, just try and get 2 hits and jump off him. Don't try and be a hero. And that's how to walk like an Egyptian. Okay, Antarctica is a major pain in the arse. Many runners will do this first out of the second 3 levels. Not only is it incredibly precise, it's got random wind. So the wind can go forward or backward, and Donald's momentum is greatly hampered when it's going backward, and it's completely crazy fast when it's not hampered. So you might want to start pause buffering to see what wind you've got. You've also got these snowmen, some of whom will fire icicles at you, some will jump at you, some will slide at you. This level is a run killer. So, you're going to come over here onto this platform, jump and avoid the snowflake. Regardless of the wind, you want to jump there because that snowflake will kill you. And then if the wind is going backwards, you cannot make this jump from up here, you have to go from down below. So what I recommend is getting past the Yetis and then just doing it in time when there's no wind. You can make it like that. These swordfish, in theory, you can jump on like that, but the window is very marginal. You are better just to hammer them as you jump across. jumping will help here as well. You need a plan for each place, whether the wind is going forward or backward. So here I can jump. I'm adding a little bit of forward-backward movement because it's easy to overshoot. This one you've got to wait. Because if the wind changes even for one frame, you can't make that jump. And now I can come across. It's been known to have runners wait 11 times there. Jump over that guy and avoid him. It's been known for runners to have to wait ages there, and sometimes you can get through very quickly, so don't worry if you lose a lot of time here. Here's a good wind example, you can jump straight away. Here you're going to have to wait. That one you must have a positive wind. Then inside, you can just let that guy go past. Let these guys go past. Then we get to a really, really awkward enemy. These snowmen will fire ice cubes and snowballs. And it isn't the ice cubes that hurt. It's being crushed by them or touching the snowball. Like that. So, you can jump on the ice cubes, but you will get frozen to death like that. The best way is to just inch forward, because you'll see that the snowman hasn't activated yet. You can kill these ice cubes and jump across. Like that. There are times when you will despawn the snowman and you will run into it, and it won't look like it's there, but you'll still take a hit. It is really awkward. Don't worry if it takes a long while to get used to. So let go there. You can wait this out as well, you know, it's as long as you know when the snowball is going to fire, and then come back to the centre. Avoid this guy. Be careful there. You can try and go faster, but the timings are awkward. Now if you're new to this game, I recommend going down here, and then you've got to outrun the swordfish behind you, which is not hard. Make sure to jump from the end there, that one can kill you if you jump too early. Be careful of that guy as well. Jump over here, jump up, jump up. Now you've got a snowman firing snowballs, and once he's fired 4, they're going to fall towards you. So what I recommend is pull into this gap here, let 2 fly, go slightly later than 2, like 1, 2 now, and just jump over like that. Then you're outside, no heroics with this snowman, just jump past it. If, however, you want to do this section like a total badass, you can go one of 2 ways. Stay right here. Get hit there like a stupid person. You can come over here, which is 4 or 5 seconds faster, but it's very precarious because you've got a couple more snowmen to dodge. You can see there are collision detection problems with it. The other way, in which I recommend actually doing regardless, is jump up here, because this saves a couple of seconds over the regular way, and even if you lose your weapon, you can take a death on the boss room. Again, wait for 2, jump, kill that snowman there. If you want to be completely safe, you can jump up here and just go up this tower. Or if you just feel like killing some yetis, I don't know, maybe you're not a Greenpeace. But the way to do this bit is just going to be to interpolate when you want to come out. Jump on top, jump over a couple of snowmen, then go into the crook, jump into the gap, kill that guy. You've got 3 snowmen here you can jump on. That gives you a very good chance of getting your hammer back if you lost it as well. That's why I recommend going up there. It's a very high probability of being safe. Try and show you that in real time. So I've lost my hammer, but I've got 1, 2, 3. I can even get a 4th snowman if I want. I can respawn them as well, whenever I want. And there's my hammer back. And when you jump down here, you're going to be out at that last snowman that we discussed before. It's just very slightly different. There's no bit here. That's the wrong state. Bear with me. To show you that the Yetis there can move backwards as well as forwards. Be careful with that. You might find a different timing method here that works for you as well. You can jump over those snowballs without a delay, but it's very risky. My jumping timing seems to be a bit off here. Don't touch that frisbee. There's a hammer. So for this bit, stop just short of the snowballs. When it gets to 3, fire your hammer and jump on the remaining 2. If you've done it wrong, the 4th snowball will come into your position. You see, it almost got me. Like that. So give yourself a little bit of distance. Jump over. And then again, you can come back to your centre line. There's another couple of guys to dodge here. Like that. And in this case, if you're doing this, you want to go from here, do a jump and do a jump, because it avoids all the collision problems. This boss is also not too hard. Jump and fire. 2 hammers. Again, he's changing his attacks based on what position you're in. So if I'm too far left on the screen, he will just come down and fire an ice cube. If I'm underneath, he will chase me. And if I'm near to him, he will fly diagonally and try and chase me. The hitbox is a bit awkward for this one as well, so if you're in doubt, just be careful not to jump into him. See how easy it is just to miss there, and then suddenly you're in trouble. You've got to work out what he's doing, you've got to avoid the ice cubes. And if you go too early, it's easy to run into him like that. Again, this is just something you have to practice, really. I've got my own way of doing it, but everyone will. And that's Antarctica, and now you're ready for the final castle. So the final castle level is really fun. It's a fantastically designed level for being difficult when you're a casual player, but we can skip most of this level. So first things first, you don't have to do anything with these little skeletons with their lovely top hats, you can just walk straight through here. And then these forks you have to preemptively fire at, because otherwise they will come down on your position. Magic forks apparently Donald Duck, who knew? You can also do some jumps here. And here as well. So you get to this one, you're going to jump onto here. Kill this guy. And to do a skip, we're going to do the same as we did in Hawaii. We're going to get to the end of the top tabletop, duck and press 2. Like that. And that brings us straight up, and if you are holding left too much, then you might just have to jump again when you reach the top of the ceiling to get it to trigger. And in fact, if you do that, you can sometimes despawn these 2 enemies here. Now be very careful in this area, because these ghosts, it's easy to mistime it when you're jumping on them, either going too far or jumping too early, and the same with the bricks. If you do that, don't worry, just come back and respawn it. Still way faster than doing it. Like that. You can jump on him, you can jump over him, it's up to you. You can take it nice and easy here. Down to this one. 2 of them this time. You see how high they go. You cannot get to the bottom and get past the moving spike in one cycle. So don't worry about going too fast there, because you will always end up having to wait. Can I show you my fastest attempt here? You'll notice I'm letting go of the left direction again a little bit, just to make sure I don't collide into these things. You'll always end up having to come behind this guy. And here especially, give yourself a gap in front for the spike for when you duck down. Because you can whack into it. Like that. If you want to jump and use your hammer, perfectly fine, just keep it as safe as you want. Duck, come past, then into this room. So, again here, don't duck into these poles. Wait for this one to come down, jump in. They both come down, just walk straight over. You can jump on the end there if you want. If you want to be super fast, like if you're playing early, just jump out there from the left. Come down here, rinse and repeat. Go in the middle, go out. You can skip that cycle. It is quite a tight timing window. I'm sure you'll find your own method for that. I try and use the music if I can. But it's easy to mistime it and go wrong. Not worth it. Down here. Again, we're going to do a wrap here. You're going to move into this mirror. Don't panic about that ghost. He will only move once you're away from the mirror. So, trigger the ghost, come to the final block, and just jump. And you will wrap through like that. If you can't get it, don't worry, just go the normal way. This room, you need to jump over that flame. They've got a surprisingly wide hitbox, but then you can walk straight down here. You see how narrow of a margin there is for those. So don't make the mistake of running into that guy. Come down here, go straight under, jump, jump again. Now to get past this on the same cycle, you need to make sure that you're not hovering like this because your momentum will slow down. You need to be right here. Otherwise you won't make it. Go up top. These paintings are triggered on your X position, so what you need to do is do a little stutter. So whoop, jump over. Every time. Again, be careful with the flames. Again, it's possible to get caught in the walls here, just be aware of that. If you've lost your weapon, here's one more chance to get one. And then you're on the final screen already. And all you have to do is whack Magicka's crystal ball with your hammer 5 times. You want to do it from the right. There is a task method where you can jump on the ball and go faster, but her attacks are based on movement, so don't really want to risk that because it's incredibly easy to do it wrong and get killed. I'll just show you that one more time. Underneath. Don't hover there. Stutters. bounce on this guy and scroll the screen correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And time ends when you've broken that crystal ball. I'll just show you that final level once again. See if I can do a good attempt of it. See how close I was to a spike there. It's easy to go early there and in other places. It's the sort of game where sometimes you'll react too fast, sometimes you'll react too slow. You'll have to come up with strategies for that on the fly. Took a hit, that's not brilliant. There's some good fortune. And if you can do all of that, you'll beat the Lucky Dime Caper. I'd love to see a number of you pick this run up. And then if you find this game is a bit difficult, or you're struggling with some of the lag, or just the general jank, try the Game Gear version. It's only about 11 minutes, whereas this one's more like 15, 16. It's a lot simpler as well. Thanks for watching. Kapla.